Good evening, and welcome to our discussion of dialectics in Act 4 of Hamlet. First we will discuss reality and appearances,
followed by the masculine and the feminine after the break.
First, appearance and reality, which I believe to be the primary dialectic for the whole play. One of the central questions is the spectrum of sanity and insanity. In Scene 1, Gertrude attributes Hamlet's killing Polonius to madness. Here, Claudius reacts with characteristic selfishness. He is glad it wasn't him but worries that Hamlet's violence will slander his name. Similarly, Claudius acknowledges that he loved Polonius as he loves himself. He is frank about considering himself first. This openly selfish attitude is part of the Machiavellian meme in the play.
It's noteworthy that Claudius identifies Hamlet as your son after the killing of Polonius. Even though Claudius adopted Hamlet in Act 1, he distances himself from Hamlet here. Claudius also uses connotative language to convince Gertrude that Hamlet was the most violent author of his own just remove.
Claudius is adept at controlling information. He knows that Laertes, who has returned from France in secret, has public support to dethrone him. Like Hamlet, Laertes is bent on revenge for his father. Unlike Hamlet, Laertes is quick to blame Claudius, then settle on Hamlet as his target. Hamlet's role in the madness and death of Ophelia as well as the death of Polonius exacerbates Laertes' rage, rendering Claudius vulnerable to a rebellion,
which Claudius uses against Hamlet. In Hamlet's play The Mousetrap, the nephew kills the uncle. Claudius sees the play, rightly, as a threat.
Then why doesn't Claudius kill Hamlet himself?
Claudius is a wise politician. He knows that the public has a great love for Hamlet and that murdering him could cause a rebellion.
So Claudius uses Laertes, who is only too willing to kill Hamlet for his own revenge.
But first he baits Laertes, asking him is he is sincere or just a face without a heart. Claudius urges Laertes to use more than words to deal with Polonius's death.
And they conspire to plant an unprotected foil in a fencing match and bait it with poison, as well as poison Hamlet's drink. Moments later, Claudius has the audacity to confide to Gertrude how much I had to do to calm his rage.
There is a good deal of intrigue in this act. It has progressed from spying and eavesdropping to secret letters and sleuthing schemes between Hamlet and Horatio to elaborate murder plots against Hamlet in the forms of the foiled execution attempt and the rigged duel with Laertes.
Even Horatio is concerned with the way things seem. When Gertrude refuses to see Ophelia, he warns that the mad girl may start dangerous conjectures and ill-breeding minds in public. In an aside, Gertrude admits that, no longer able to shield herself from guilt, she has become afraid.
However, madness is the voice of reality in this play. Just as Hamlet is most honest when most unhinged, so too the mad Ophelia offers truths that the healthy Ophelia has been too discreet to tell. Her grief for her father is almost grotesque in its frankness.
Through song, she tells the truth about losing her virginity to Hamlet and the effect of abandonment on her attitude toward men. She says, young men will do it if they come to it. And she uses the language of flowers to show her insight into people's true natures, rosemary, for remembrance of her father, to Laertes, fennel to Claudius for flattery, and columbines to Gertrude for adultery.
So by the end of Act 4, we have the truth rising to the surface in the mad Ophelia as well as revelation of Claudius's crime to Gertrude and the overt selfishness of Claudius himself.
But on the other hand, this act is full of plotting and scheming. Claudius, sending the foiled execution order to England with Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, followed by his plot with Laertes to kill Hamlet in the rigged duel, and Hamlet, telling Gertrude the secret of Hamlet seen his death and plotting with Horatio and pirates to return secretly to Denmark.
So appearance trumps reality by the end of Act 4.
Or so it seems. On the other hand, Hamlet's use of appearance, paradoxically, to reveal reality might actually balance Claudius's use of appearance to hide it.
Just when we thought we had the answer. Welcome back to our discussion of dialectics in Act 4 of Hamlet.
The dialectic of the masculine and feminine is subtler in Act 4 than the language of appearance and reality, but still significant.
First of all, neither gender seems more committed to the truth than the other. Both Claudius and Gertrude are more interested in preserving appearances than revealing the truth.
The mad Ophelia, like Hamlet, takes the initiative to confront Gertrude with the truth about decadence in the Danish court and Ophelia's own lost virginity. And Gertrude, like Claudius, refuses to see her until Horatio recommends letting Ophelia in.
Femininity or masculinity has no impact on ability to see the truth in this play. Like Claudius, her soulmate, Gertrude sees that hiding guilt only compounds it. So full of artless jealousy is guilt, it spills itself in fearing to be spilt.
Indeed, Shakespeare seems to be showing that gender has no effect on the ability to think, only on the ability to act.
And in that ability, Hamlet continues to present himself as unmanly in his apparent inaction against Claudius.
But he has taken much action, some of it pointless and miscalculated, toward revenge in Acts 3 and 4. Killing Polonius was a botched attempt to kill Claudius, and Hamlet has managed his own rescue, with the help of friendly pirates, to return to Denmark and complete his revenge.
And we will learn in Act 5 that he has used the letter of Claudius's execution order, intended for Hamlet, on Rose Entrance and Guildenstern instead.
So even Hamlet, arguably the least stereotypically masculine character, takes action in Act 4 of the play.
One interesting idea continues to nag me, though.
What's that?
Well, Claudius, arguably the villain of the play, is also the only character who is in love with a woman. He says that Gertrude is so conjunctive to his life and soul that he cannot live without her. No other male character in the play talks about a woman that way.
His tenderness in dealing with the mad Ophelia, attending to her immediately and addressing her as pretty lady, is only partly political in its motivation. Hearing of Hamlet's responsibility for her deflowering, he seems sincerely touched by pity when he calls her pretty Ophelia.
Of course, valuing someone for beauty is objectification. What do you think? Did Shakespeare objectify women, or was he merely showing contemporary attitudes toward them?
Since men and women in the play come across as equally intelligent and virtuous, the only difference between male and female characters is power. The female character's power is limited by their place in society.
And even then, a woman of higher station, beloved by a prominent man, wields a good deal of power.
I'm sure we're both thinking of Gertrude. But we must keep in mind that Claudius allows her to be poisoned rather than give up his power.
So men choose power over love. While women, who have less power, depend on the love of high-ranking men for their lives.
So Shakespeare creates a social document in the dynamic between the masculine and the feminine in Hamlet.
Yes, I think the play is a window on the way that the male and the female interacted in his time. A mirror, as it were.
Yes, a mirror to shatter illusions.